One of the big consensus findings in the research on charter schools is that the effectiveness of charter schools varies a lot. Some charter schools have positive effects and promote student learning. Others have no impacts or even negative effects. And even charter management organizations, which have been successful enough to expand and scale up into multiple schools, vary widely in their effectiveness. So there's a lot of interest in better understanding what are the conditions under which charter schools are most effective. So what policies at the school level or practices at the school level lead to the more successful charter schools. Researchers have begun to study what makes some charter schools more effective than others, but nobody thinks the issue is settled, and there's a lot of room for additional research in this area. There's a similar story with respect to charter school policies at the state level. Average effectiveness of charter schools varies a lot by states, and the policies that govern charter schools also varies and differs from state to state. But there's little research on what levers policymakers might use in order to promote high achievement in their states of the charter school sector. State laws vary in terms of things like the funding they provide charter schools, the level of accountability they hold charter schools to, and who's allowed to authorize charter schools. For example, some states put authorizing power primarily in the hands of local school districts. Other states use a single statewide charter school authorizer, and still others use a combination of multiple potential authorizers. So somebody that wants to start up a charter school can sort of shop among multiple possible authorizers and look for the most favorable one. These differences could have implications for both the quantity and the quality of charter schools that are operating in a state. So there's a lot of room for research here in trying to understand what the effects of these state policies are on charter school quality. Most charter school research to date has focused on the impacts of charter schools on student achievement. So there have been fairly few studies that have looked at these longer-term outcomes that most charter schools are trying to improve. For example, 2 studies have looked at the effects of charter schools on students' earnings as adults. The results of these 2 studies are mixed. One of the studies conducted in Florida found positive effects on earnings. The other, conducted in Texas, found negative effects. But those studies were both non-experimental studies, meaning they weren't based on the school's admissions lotteries that might allow researchers to conduct randomized experiments. In addition, a few studies have looked at longer-term educational attainment outcomes, such as high school graduation or college enrollment. These studies have generally favorable findings, at least for some groups of charter schools, but most of the studies in this category are also non-experimental. So there's a lot of room for additional research on the longer-term effects of charter schools.